Welcome back to Storytime Boulevard, your destination to sleep. I'm Andrew, and I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. If you're new to our cozy little corner of the internet, we invite you to get comfortable, settle in, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new story. And if this tale brings you peace, leave us a comment or a like. It truly helps us grow and share more restful journeys with others like you. Tonight's story takes us beyond the second star to the right, where dreams begin to dim, and only the brave remember how to believe. It's a gentle, magical tale called Wendy and the Night Wand. A story of stars, forgotten lullabies, and the quiet courage it takes to keep the night sky glowing. But before we begin, let's take a moment to slow down and breathe. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Let your hands rest softly by your sides. Now take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it gently at the top. And exhale through your mouth, long and easy. Feel your body begin to relax. Let the tension melt from your shoulders, your jaw, your thoughts. There's nowhere else you need to be. You are safe. You are held. And you are so very welcome here. Now let's drift into tonight's tale. The night was calm in London. A hush had settled over the rooftops. The kind of hush that only arrives when most of the world is asleep and just a few are dreaming. Wendy darling sat by her bedroom window, the same one Peter Pan had flown through so many years ago. She wasn't a grown-up quite yet. No, not really. But she wasn't quite the child she used to be either. Her heart still believed in flying boys, fairies, and faraway stars. But lately, something had been off. The stars, she'd noticed, weren't twinkling the same way. They looked tired, dimmer. And when she closed her eyes at night, the dreams that used to whisk her away to Neverland felt slower, heavier, as though something was holding them back. That night, just as the clock struck midnight, a familiar breeze fluttered through the open window. It carried with it the scent of clouds and far-off laughter. Wendy looked up, and there he was, Peter Pan, hovering just beyond the sill, his shadow dancing beside him. "Wendy," he whispered with a crooked smile, "you have to come. Something's wrong with the stars." Wendy blinked. "I thought I was imagining it." Peter shook his head, more serious than usual. "It's the night wand. It's missing. The dream keepers can't light the stars without it, and soon the dreams of children might fade completely." She didn't hesitate. She stood, slipped on her slippers, and stepped toward the window. "But why me?" she asked. Peter's eyes twinkled, just a little. "Because you still believe, and that might be the most powerful magic left." And with that, the two took off into the sky. Wendy's nightgown trailing like a sail, Peter leading the way toward the second star to the right and deeper into the sleeping skies of Neverland. The flight to Neverland was different this time. It was quieter, more delicate. The stars above shimmered faintly, as though blinking back sleep. The usual sparkle in the air, the zips of fairy light and trails of magic dust, felt dimmer, slower. Even Peter's laughter, usually as bright as a bell, was softer now, tinged with concern. They flew in silence for a while, until a faint glow began to rise on the horizon. Neverland appeared beneath them, like a memory just beginning to return. Misty treetops stretched into the sky, and the rivers below wound like silver threads under moonlight. "Where do we start?" Wendy asked, clutching Peter's hand. "We visit the Threads Keeper," he said. "She guards the map of whispering threads. It shows where dreams tangle and where they're unraveling." "Have I met her before?" Peter shook his head. "No one really meets her, unless the night is in trouble." They descended toward a grove at the edge of the island, where the trees grew in tight, twirling spirals. Each branch was hung with shimmering strands, like dream catchers made of stars and wind. At the very center of the grove sat a still figure draped in silken veils that rippled without breeze. The Threads Keeper. She didn't speak. Instead, she raised one glowing hand, and a silvery scroll unrolled itself before Wendy and Peter. It was unlike any map Wendy had ever seen. Instead of places, it showed feelings, like joy puddling near the mermaid lagoon, or fear drifting like fog near Skull Rock. In the very center of the map, a soft violet thread pulsed faintly. "That's the Night One's last trace," Peter whispered. "It's fading fast." The Threads Keeper finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "Follow the quiet places. Listen for forgotten lullabies. The wand lies where the last dreamer still sings in her sleep." Wendy looked at Peter. "What does that mean?" He grinned, the old spark returning. "It means we're going to see the moonflower marsh, and we'll need Tink." Far above them, a small flicker of green light zipped into view. Tired, but determined, "Tink," Peter called gently. "We've got one more night to save." The fairy floated close, a soft, bell-like chime echoing from her wings. And with that, the trio took off again, map in hand, stars above. the winds of Neverland, shifting gently toward a dream yet to be found. The journey to Moonflower Marsh took them past familiar sights, cloaked in silence. The Lost Boys' hideout was still, the mermaids asleep beneath glimmering waters, and even the pirate ship rocked gently in the cove, without a single creak from its timbers. It was as if Neverland itself was holding its breath. The marsh appeared slowly on the horizon, an endless field of softly glowing flowers that opened only at night. Their petals shimmered like satin in the moonlight, casting a gentle glow across the watery land. Wisps of fog curled low to the ground, and the air was thick with the scent of lavender and stardust. Tink flew ahead, her light flickering as she weaved between the blooms. "She's guiding us to the Dreamkeeper's last footprint," Peter said. Wendy landed lightly beside him on a tuft of moss. Her slippers were damp, but she didn't mind. The beauty of the place made her forget the chill. All around them, the moonflowers began to hum, a soft, melodic vibration that seemed to echo from the heart of the earth. "What's that sound?" Wendy whispered. Peter tilted his head. "It's the lullaby of the marsh. These flowers only sing when a dream is nearby." They followed the sound through the glowing mist until they came upon a clearing where the flowers bent low, forming a ring. In the center stood a small, ancient pedestal carved from starlit stone. Atop it, a tiny tuft of silver-blue dust sparkled weakly. Wendy stepped forward. "Is this?" Peter nodded solemnly. "A trace of the night wand. It was here, but it's been taken." Suddenly, the fog around them shifted, and from it stepped a shadowy figure. It was not threatening, but sorrowful. A long, flowing robe cloaked its form, and its face seemed to shimmer and blur, like a dream half remembered. "I am the keeper of forgotten dreams," the figure said, its voice like wind through reeds. "And I'm afraid the night wand was stolen by one who once kept dreams safe." Wendy felt a chill. Stolen? By who? The keeper turned to her. By the sleepless prince. He lost the gift of dreaming long ago. And now he believes if he can control the wand, he can dream once more. But dreams cannot be forced. They must be trusted. Peter's jaw tightened. Where did he go? To the Hall of Sleep, the keeper replied. A place even time has forgotten. Wendy stepped closer to the fading pedestal. Then that's where we'll go. The keeper placed something in her hand, a single moonflower petal, still humming softly. When you reach the hall, place this on the door. Only a dreamer can open it. With a nod of thanks, Wendy turned to Peter and Tink. The night was growing deeper, the stars dimmer still, but the glow in Wendy's heart was growing stronger. The journey wasn't over. It had only just begun. The skies over Neverland had darkened to a velvet twilight as Peter, Wendy, and Tink soared toward the edge of the stars, where even the island itself began to blur. The wind thinned. The clouds quieted. It felt like crossing into the hush between dreams and waking. At last, nestled in a cloud bank carved from silver mist, they saw it. The Hall of Sleep. It stood tall and still, a cathedral of dreams long past. Its towering spires were woven from moonlight and memory, draped in tapestries of silence. No doors, no windows, only a soft pulse of light behind its high, arching walls. Peter hovered beside Wendy. "I've only heard of this place in whispers," he said. "No one's been here in, well, forever." Wendy nodded and took the moonflower petal from her pocket. Its faint hum had grown slightly louder, responding to the quiet around them. She stepped gently toward the shimmering wall and placed the petal against the stone. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a low breath, like the exhale of an ancient being. The wall shimmered and parted, revealing a path of floating steps made from light. They spiraled inward into the heart of the hall. Inside, it was vast and glowing, like a dream that never ends. The walls shifted between colors with every thought. Murals painted themselves mid-air. Scenes of sleeping children, floating boats, lullabies sung by mothers and grandmothers, and gentle animals curled beside flickering lanterns. And there, at the center, standing beneath the glass dome of stars, was the sleepless prince. He was young, but his eyes were ancient. The moment Wendy took hold of the night wand, its light swelled like a slow sunrise, gentle, warm, and steady. The Hall of Sleep seemed to breathe with relief. Murals shifted into new stories, ones yet to be dreamed, and the still air began to hum with lullabies too ancient to name. Peter, Tink, and Wendy floated at the center of it all, surrounded by glowing orbs, each one a dream returning to its rightful place in the night sky. "Now what?" Peter asked. Wendy looked down at the wand. "We bring it home." The sleepless prince stepped forward, his crown now flickering with the softest glow. His eyes, once dulled by longing, shimmered with the quiet promise of rest. "You've reminded me of something I'd forgotten," he said. "That dreams don't belong to one person. They're shared, whispered between stars, and carried by kindness." Tink floated beside him, her light brushing gently against his hand. And for the first time in what felt like centuries, he smiled. With a final bow, the prince stepped back into the shadows of the hall. As he faded, so did the hall itself, dissolving into stars that drifted upward to rejoin the sky. Wendy and Peter flew back in silence, the night wand glowing steadily between them. Neverland had changed, but only slightly. The shimmer had returned to the water. The breeze now carried soft songs, and when they landed gently outside Wendy's window, the stars above blinked happily, like old friends waking from a nap. Wendy turned to Peter. "Will you stay a little while?" Peter hesitated, then shook his head. "No, but I'll visit." She smiled. "That's enough." As he took to the sky with Tink in tow, Wendy watched until they became only a shimmer among the stars. She stepped inside, curled beneath her blankets, and placed the wand gently on her bedside table, where it faded into starlight and disappeared. And that night, for the first time in a long while, the world dreamed freely once more. Thank you for joining us tonight on Storytime Boulevard. We hope this tale carried you gently into rest. May your dreams be soft, your sleep be deep, and your heart stay open to the quiet magic that lives in every night. Until next time, good night.